This is the scale put forth by reality creation coach Frederick Dodson in his book, Levels of Energy. When I read it, I thought, finally, a way to quantify these concepts of good vibes, bad vibes, high vibration, low vibration. In this video, I'm going to say a bit about the different level groupings, low, medium, high, spiritual. Then we'll apply this knowledge in a game I call What's the Vibration? And last, I'll share the one limitation that I see with this model and figure out if there is a solution for that. Let's get started. If I remember correctly, Dodson considers anything under level 200 to be lower emotions. These are things like level 50, apathy, level 100, fear, level 160, anger. So you could say that if someone is depressed, they might be vibrating at a level 50. People who are vibrating in the lower emotions are being more reactive rather than proactive. They are being victim more than they are being cause. They're more focused on the past as opposed to the future or the present. And they're not very aware of themselves. They need to master themselves in order to get to the next level. In the middle emotions, level 200 to 500, we have things like courage, relaxation, contentment, willingness, acceptance. There's a mixture of love and fear. The individual is sometimes proactive, but sometimes reactive. Sometimes they are cause, sometimes they are effect. They might be concerned not so much about the past, but more about the present or the future. And these people might be self-aware, but could be more aware of others. And now on to high vibrations, 400 to 600. Examples include reason, love, happiness, ecstasy. According to Dodson, people vibrating at these levels are mostly happy, they have a well-balanced life, and they're aware not just of themselves, but they're aware of others. And finally, the last category, vibrations above level 600. Some of the notes I took from this category include thinking I am awareness, seeing yourself as everything, thinking non-linearly, and realizing that we are not our body, not our mind, which is interesting because that's something I've heard Sadhguru say at a live lecture one time. But anyways, it's game time, so let's apply these. For me, the coolest moment of reading this book was when Dodson started to describe these everyday situations and contexts as either high vibration or low vibration. For instance, a neighborhood that has broken windows, rundown buildings, lots of crime could be very succinctly described as a low vibration neighborhood. And I thought, wow, like what a great way to just encapsulate it in one single term. So let's say we had this neighborhood. At what level is this neighborhood vibrating? Well, if there's a lot of despair, depression, or hopelessness in this environment, this might be a level 50 neighborhood. What about this one? Well, it probably depends on the people who live there. If they're just content with their routine, it might be a level 200. But if the people there are very kind and optimistic, maybe it's a level 320. Now, what about clothing? You could have clothes that are stained and dirty. You could have clothes that are expensive and clean. And you can have clothes that are quite simple, but maybe have almost a spiritual vibration to them. If it's spiritual, it's got to be above 600. If it's expensive but clean, what do you think? Maybe 400s? And if they are dirty, what would you say? Less than 200? Maybe 100? If those were approximately your ballpark estimates, then you might match kind of closely the scale that Dodson put forth in the book. All right, on to the last round. We're going to look at TikToks. Do TikToks have a vibration? Here's a TikTok of some people looting in Los Angeles, loading up their bags with alcohol and just stealing it. So what vibrational level would this be? Well, if they're operating out of craving or need, maybe we could call it a level 120. How about this one, where the person's flight was canceled and they're having a full-out tantrum in the middle of the airport? Well, my first thought is that's an example of anger, so I would say it's probably vibrating at 160. And the last one says, stay out of Mexico. I'm in Mexicali. There have been shootings all morning. The energy in that TikTok is fear and worry, which would put it at a level 100. Are there any high vibration TikToks out there? Yes, of course there are. But I would like to make a point here about low vibrations, because it was a few years ago that I read this book for the first time. What followed was a period of several months where I became very irritable every time I detected low vibration around me. If I heard people around me starting to complain, or if I heard the nightly news on in the other room talking about murders and crimes and all sorts of negative things, I would get all worked up and be like, my environment's being negative, it's low vibration, it's going to pull my vibration down. And of course, the great irony there of being afraid of negativity or denouncing negativity is that the vibrational energy of being afraid or denouncing is just as low as the vibration of the negativity that one is seeking to denounce or avoid. And so it became a whole art of maintaining a high vibration in the midst of low vibrations. And how do you do that? I think for me it was a gradual process, but what really helped was becoming aware of my energy as a scarce resource, right? There's only so many things you can pay attention to in 24 hours, and it came down to being very disciplined about where I allowed my energy to go. And one thing that helped me a lot with becoming aware of my energy was the book Reality Transurfing, which I'll do a summary video of very soon. If you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I'll be posting that one probably in the next week or so. Now, what do I see as the one limitation to this model? Well, as I read this book, the science nerd in me could not help but ask, what are we even measuring here? And what tool are we using to measure it? What are the units of measurement? I mean, energy should be measurable. Just look at the electromagnetic spectrum. You have radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, X-rays. This stuff can be measured. From what I remember, the book does not address this. And if any of you have come across the answer, perhaps in Dodson's other books, you can let me know in the comments, but I did not find it. That being said, I don't think we should throw the model out the window. I love the idea of making psychology more objective. For over 10 years now, I've worked in social services and mental health, and I can't tell you how many times I've looked at our tools and I've thought, wait, this is how you're deciding that the person has a diagnosis of depression? The last 2 weeks, they haven't done 3 out of the 5 things on the checklist, like engage in social activities or do a hobby that they find enjoyable. You didn't measure anything. You didn't take a blood sample. You didn't measure their serotonin levels. And maybe we don't have the technology yet to measure that. But it doesn't mean it can't be measured. That will resolve with time as technology improves. For now, I think the big takeaway here is establishing a hierarchy of emotions, which is important because I don't think all emotions are created equal. I don't think all emotions have the same effect on our behavior. I think if each one of us is going to thrive and fulfill our potential, we need to become aware of low vibrations, and we need to raise our vibration at every opportunity we get. How do you do that? Well, with various mental techniques and strategies, but it all starts with awareness. So thank you to Frederick Dodson for helping me become more aware of the various vibrational levels. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Think deeply and put your existence first.